From SBI's Executive Briefing Center in Dallas, Texas, the most watched and listened to content in B2B sales and marketing, it's the SBI Podcast.
Welcome to SBI TV, a weekly show dedicated to helping you make your number. Today we're going to discuss a company that's had exponential growth in the past 3 years, but hasn't let the weigh down their go-to-market. If anything, this company is more agile now than it was at 1/10 of its revenue. I'm your host, Scott Gruher, Senior Partner at SBI. Joining us in the studio today is Jarrod Johnson, Chief Customer Officer at TaskUs. TaskUs is a powerhouse business process outsourcing firm with thousands of employees around the globe. Jarrod, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. If you're watching or listening out there, don't miss SBI's weekly TV show. To access our content library, iPhone users should download the SBI app on the Apple App Store by searching for Sales Benchmark Index. You can then use your iPhone notifications to bring our content to your commute, travel, or workout routine. So let's jump into our first topic here in our segment. So creating a scalable sales system. That's what we're going to be talking about. So Jarrod, maybe you can update our audience. We were talking a little bit in the back around kind of the whole paradigm of selling big ticket services or even enterprise software. Typically in those spaces, you have an expensive field sales force with account executives, and they're out there selling big ticket sales. You've taken a different model from what I understand, which is really more borrowing from the SaaS software world and more of a scalable system. So why'd you do that?
I probably did it because I wanted to be the chief revenue officer of a SaaS company, and no one would give me that job. So
nice.
When I came I'm really a large enterprise services leader. I've been doing that most of my career. What I saw in the SaaS companies was a smarter, more efficient way to do it, and frankly, it was easier.
Yeah.
I got the sense that the tools were really mature and accessible, and that the model of really attacking a big piece of the market with a very scalable sales team was going to be the kind of approach that could give us a machine that would always be delivering singles, doubles, and triples while we focused and tried to hit the home runs along the way. As opposed to, like you talked about, you hire 20 hunters and you might get 5 to hit or 10 even, but it's very unpredictable.
Got it. And have you seen that lead to kind of more scalable results? Because what I usually see in enterprise sales like that is 2 or 3 people, rainmakers, making the number, and then the rest are either grabbing their coattails or maybe not hitting the number. Do you have more of a kind of distribution of results?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things about it that are interesting. We do get a lot more singles and doubles. It also the approach opens up the mid-market. So it allows you to go slightly below the high-end enterprise. And that is just a massive market for everybody. Even just looking at North America, there's a lot of potential in there, which is a great fit for us. The approach also allows us to get certain clients in the door and watch them scale, and then we can upsell, cross-sell once we get in. So we don't focus so much always on the massive initial deal size. It's still a sizable, multi-million-dollar contract. But we would like to get them in and then scale with them.
Got it. Okay. And how has that affected kind of the talent on your team and how you've constructed the team?
It's a different approach. So instead of being very top-heavy, we have vertical leaders in our major markets, but underneath them we have basically pods where we start down at the BDR, inside sales kind of level, just doing demand generation, working alongside our marketing teams. And then we have a real career progression for those people up to business development executives where they're actually carrying quota, directors who are carrying a significant quota, up to our VPs running the markets. So you can see a career path, and I get a lot of horsepower in production very efficiently. The other benefit, I think, is I'm not quite as dependent on those VP leaders. If I were to lose one or somebody might take another opportunity, I've still got the vertical strategy and execution in place to continue building momentum while I maybe promote somebody or bring somebody else in.
Nice. So it sounds like you have a real system, both on the talent side, also the way your processes are set up. So you're not relying on 1 or 2 people to go make the number. Nice.
Yeah, it's been successful for us. It sounds better than it really is. There's a lot of trouble in the behind the back office, but it's something we've been building for 3 or 4 years, and I think it's working.
Good. Nice. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. On this next segment, we're going to talk about building a high-growth marketing engine. So within SaaS, one of the best practices is having a marketing engine that's scalable. And this is undoubtedly part of why TaskUs is one of the best and fastest growing outsourcing firms in the country. They're a major disruptor in the outsourcing space, and it attracts the clients to those type of disruptors, and you do that through a marketing engine. So maybe we can start and talk a little bit about who's your ideal customer profile, Jarrod?
Yeah, our ideal customer profile is a digital, tech-enabled firm that is disrupting its marketplace and looking to rapidly scale and introduce that product. So whether it's a hot mobile app or a food delivery platform, a SaaS e-commerce company, most of the time we're dealing with tech-based businesses who think digitally and are looking for hypergrowth.
And how do you approach that ideal customer profile at scale through your marketing engine?
Yeah, it's pretty different than the traditional outsourcing space. So the legacy, even most of my career doing this kind of work, you were talking to Fortune 100s who had an in-house operation and they needed to cut costs to lower SG&A or overhead, and so they were outsourcing that to a partner who had better processes or offshore facilities to lower cost. That is not who we're talking to at all.
Okay.
We're talking to companies who've never had the function in-house they're looking for us to bring best practices and take over a function they frankly don't want the headache of. So it's been good for us. We find those people, our founders are a unique set. They're millennials. I work for 2 millennial founders. And they started the business grassroots startup. So for us to approach those same type of founders and C-level executives and tell our story, we like to think of ourselves very much like them and having gone through that journey.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how do you reach that market, right? So I know you do marketing. Is there certain tactics that work better for you? And how do you think of the balance between marketing versus sales approaching the market?
Yeah, we do a ton around the brand and what I would call like demand gen from the marketing side. So we use a lot of B2C type of technologies or trends.
Yeah.
We do a lot of video. We try to do a lot of video that's available on platform, whether that's case studies or thought leadership. We do the standard, blog article, LinkedIn articles. We try to really cultivate that from throughout the organization. We're lucky enough to have 18,000 people in the org, so we have a lot of smart people we can tap into. We also use a lot of founder cachet, right? I mean, those guys are very unique, and so we leverage their brand, their personal brands a long way. We also host our own in-house events. We didn't really like the industry events that were happening, so we started to do our own in our key markets, New York, San Francisco, LA, and now we've started to expand in little smaller format into Austin, Seattle, et cetera. That has been a real difference maker for us. We're connecting these leaders, whether they're clients or prospects. We're bringing them together. We're really not talking much about TaskUs. We're just being the forum to bring these leaders together to talk about their challenges. That's the other thing I think we do well is we really embrace what we're learning from the marketplace, what we're learning from our clients, what we've done to improve over time. And people like that raw, transparent kind of environment.
Nice. Yeah, I call that advocate marketing, right? Kind of using the market's groundswell versus talking about your own company and features and functions. Nice. How is that? So there's reach in the market, and there's also kind of being sticky with your customer base and keeping them loyal. How would you say that marketing approach has kept your customer base loyal to TaskUs?
One thing we've done with the marketing team and the brand overall is try to really stay true to who we are. Culture is a huge part of our business. We're a frontline first, employee first company. We make decisions with the employee, the frontline teammate at the center of everything we do. That bleeds throughout the organization, the facilities that we have, the benefits we provide, the wages that we pay. So the brands that really appreciate that culture are the ones that are great fits for us. If they don't appreciate that culture and the way that we approach the business, they're probably not good for us. And we try to, I don't want to say not let them in the door, but there's a pretty good litmus test early in the process. So culture's an anchor. We want our clients to come in and feel good every day about the place their people are working in, the support and advocacy we're giving for the teammate. And then the other side is we want to be digital first all the time. that is not always good for revenue or growth. There's a lot of voice business out there, for example. There's a lot of monotonous processes, even back office ones, that you can take that revenue and do that work. We want to embrace automation. We want to embrace digital channels. So we want our clients to be digital first. And we think that if we think that way, approach their business that way, even though there might be short-term trade-offs where businesses shrink, they'll come to us and offer us the next piece of complex work that they want to tackle. So that's worked really well for us. So culture and being digital, those two things go pretty hand in hand for us.
It sounds like you guys have a really good understanding of who you're going after and kind of the culture fit, but also there's a little bit of polarizing brand there where, hey, we want to go this way on digital. We know who we serve and we want alignment versus just taking all the business that comes at you, which I know can be hard as a sales leader, right?
Yeah, it's the first place I've ever seen that. I mean, we've turned down really good business, financially good business, stuff we could do easily, just because it wasn't the right cultural fit for us or our frontline teammates, which was first time in my career that I've made that tough decision.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
On this segment, we're going to talk about data-driven customer experience. So customer retention is, of course, imperative in the SaaS industry, and many of the customers at TaskUs are in that space. But I think everyone knows these days that delivering a great customer experience and keeping your market happy is a much more profitable way to go to market. And I know TaskUs is playing in that space. So maybe you can give us a little bit of a background on how you guide your clients to think more like customer experience than customer support.
Yeah. For our clients and the customers of our clients, it's pretty much an at-will marketplace, right? There's a lot of offers out there, low barriers to entry to switch and go to somebody else. So we recognize that internally. We try to sit with our clients and talk to them about designing a customer experience that has as low amount of friction as possible. And that starts sometimes, I think, like you guys do, you got to start just by listening. Yeah. We do a lot of upfront workshopping and kind of strategy and design work, but many of our clients are launching new products. They don't know what to expect or what might be coming around the corner, or they're taking that product into a new market where they don't know how that market's going to react. We help give them a framework to think about what channels should I operate in? How do I get consistent feedback to make product changes quickly? What's broken when I launch? And how do I quickly triage that and get to stability? Many of these product engineers think that it's going to be perfect out the gate. We in customer support know that it's not. So we just try to give a framework to help think about those problems. And we're lucky we've seen a lot of clients go through those pains before, so we like to share what we learned.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how do you guys kind of take what you preach to the market around customer experience and actually apply that to your own business as well?
Yeah, man. 3 years ago, I took over our customer success function.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing we've done since then is really look at the data. So in our business, simple things we tell our clients to do all the time: customer journey mapping, friction points, surveys, get feedback. We just implemented those on ourselves. So we do a survey process every 6 months in detail with our clients that really puts our finger on the pulse of how our top clients are doing, all the way down to maybe our smallest clients, and then we break that apart in segments and try to analyze what we can be doing better.
Nice. Sounds like good. So when you're doing that, how do you use data, I guess, in the customer experience process and really measure like engagement of your customer base?
Yeah, it's different for every type of client, maybe depending on the type of service they're getting from us. But we look at some basic things, and we ask a series of questions. Do you recommend TaskUs as a partner in the marketplace for your services? And that's our Net Promoter Score survey. But underneath that, we ask questions around strategic partnership. Are you viewing us really as a strategic partnership? Are we delivering on the promises that we made? How's your account management team, right? Are we delivering innovation? And then we ask them straight up, do you intend to grow, stay the same, or decline with us? You'd be amazed how much customers will tell you if you just ask. So we try to take all that and look back into the organization to where we can improve. One of our core values is continuous self-improvement. So we try to feed that back into the organization. Some other things we watch that are maybe outside of the survey: regime change is a really big thing in our world. If the person who's governing your service isn't the person who selected you, it's a pretty high indicator of churn. So we look at those things, and then are they voting with their wallet? Are we seeing growth? Are we seeing new lines of service? Do we have opportunities to participate in new work? That's another indicator.
Got it. Thanks. That's super helpful. Thanks for sharing with the audience. So I really liked the customer experience thoughts and what some of the things you're doing. It sounds like you're an innovator out there. It makes a lot of sense. That's why you're growing so fast. So thank you for sharing with our audience. Appreciate it. And we want to thank you, the SBI audience, for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. That's it for today. As always, until next time, I wish you good luck as you try to make your number.
This has been the SBI Podcast. For more information on the studio, SBI's Executive Briefing Center, our team, or to schedule a workshop, please visit salesbenchmarkindex.com.